BookTube, it's Missy, and today I'm here to share with you guys, a little late, but I'm here to share with you guys my recap, rewrap, and update for my most anticipated reads for September 2014. We are making strides here. The cool thing about this set of books, which I have 13 here, I've read a lot of them, and I've bought most of them, so I'm good on all fronts. Let's get started. The first book that I want to talk about came out on September 2nd of 2014, and that is Mary the Summoning by Hilary Monahan. Now, I don't have a lot of YA horror on my favorites list, but this is on the top of my YA horror favorites. Hilary Monahan is an amazing writer. Not only have I read Mary the Summoning, but I have also read and purchased Mary Unleashed. Both of these books are absolutely fabulous. 5 stars. I couldn't get enough. This is a Bloody Mary retelling that is actually scary. Cujo just fell right off the shelf. Yes, highly recommend this duology. As you can see, they are small, but they pack a punch. So good. Alright, the next book on my list is The Illusions of Fate by Kiersten White. This one came out on September 9th, and I actually read it and really enjoyed it. I gave this book 5 stars as well. It is about a girl who is from an island, and she gets sent to the mainland to go to school, I think, and meets a man who is a magician or an illusionist. I haven't read this in a long time, as you can tell. But then they start a relationship, not necessarily a love relationship, but they need each other for some reason. And it's a standalone book, but it's got like this history to it, which I really enjoyed, about the islanders and the mainlanders and how they're at war, and the magic system, and why this girl is super important. I really liked it. I like Kiersten White's writing, so I would definitely pick up this book if you haven't already. Alright, the next book on my list is Blood of My Blood by Barry Lyga. This one also came out on the 9th of September. I just so happen to own the entire trilogy, and I've been working on I Hunt Killers, which is the first book of the trilogy, for a while now. I am currently on page 180, which is basically half of this book. Now, what is the guy's name? I forgot. Jazz. Jazz is the main character. His father is a serial killer that is actually in prison right now, and there is a new case of murders going on that Jazz is trying to figure out. Because if he figures out who the killer is, then the town that he lives in won't continue to think that he's going to grow up to be like his father. So if he can be like a mini detective and like work out the murder through the murder's eyes, because he's got so much experience living with his dad, maybe he can catch the killer before the cops can and give him some credibility as a good person instead of a bad person. I'm really enjoying this series so far, this trilogy, and I only stopped because I was listening to it on Overdrive from my library, and then it expired, and I just never, you know, renewed the book. So I definitely want to continue reading this. The audiobook is actually really good. I enjoy the author's voice. So yes, looking forward to finishing this one. Alright, the next book on the list is Of Monsters and Madness, and this is by Jessica Verde. This also came out on the 9th, and I actually got this from NetGalley way back when, and I really enjoyed this one. I gave this one also, did I give it 5 stars? It might have been 4 or 5 stars, but this is an Edgar Allan Poe retelling, and that's all I can say. It's a gothic horror. It's about a man who is, he works for the main character's dad, and I think she's falling in love with him, but he's supposed to be kind of like a bad guy. Again, I haven't read this in so long. All I know is that I really did enjoy it, and I do have it on my Kindle, and I did want to own it at one point. I don't know if I still am going to buy it. There's some books where after a while it doesn't have the same excitement anymore. Like the, for example, the Laini Taylor, Daughter of Smoke and Bone, that trilogy I thought was absolutely fabulous, but I don't know if I would ever read them again. Even though I really liked Karu and I love her best friend, I don't think I would reread the entire trilogy, so I just never purchased the books. That's how I feel about Of Monsters and Madness. I really enjoyed it while I read it, but I don't really want to add it to my shelves. Okay, the next book on my list, which I haven't picked up yet, and I don't know why because it looks amazing, and that is The Evil Librarian by Michelle Knudsen. Now this came out on the 9th. I think I even pre-ordered this, which is ridiculous, and this is a horror humor book. There is even a sequel to this, which I want to buy. I haven't yet because I'm, controlling myself, but I do want to pick this up very soon. I'm thinking maybe in September, because it's getting closer and closer to Halloween. So I do want to pick this up next month. It's an evil librarian. What's not to like about that? I mean, look at this cover. It's fantastic. The next book on my list is Winterkill by Kate A. Borman. This one came out also on the 9th. And now that this is going on, I think this is the 4th video I've done. There are books that I've talked about that now that I've added them back onto my TBR list, I don't really want to read anymore. And this is one of those books. This is a sci-fi dystopian set in Canada, I think, or at least it's a Canadian written book. But it just doesn't sound interesting anymore. I did borrow this book from the library when it first came out. I read the first chapter and it didn't grab me. It's about a girl who's going outside of her comfort zone. Like, the town has a border that you're not allowed to pass, and she goes past that border to get herbs or something and feels weird on the other side. It just didn't grab me, so I don't know if I'm going to pick it up ever again. But there is 3 books in this series, which I have on all of my next coming most anticipated readings list, and maybe I'll pick it up in the future. I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I mean, it looked good, but I don't know. I probably won't pick it up. But if you like dystopian sci-fi books, maybe you'll like this one. Alright, the next book on my list is Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. This is the sequel to The Fifth Wave, which I have not read yet. Now, I own The Fifth Wave, I own Infinite Sea. I have not picked up the 3rd book yet because people say that this book is fun, but the Infinite Sea was kind of boring, and I don't know how I'm going to like the 3rd one. So I need to read this one first. This is about an alien invasion, which I should really like because I absolutely love aliens. And what put me off from reading this is all of the negative reviews that I've heard just on BookTube. And I try not to listen to negative reviews, and that's the reason why I still own this book and I haven't given it away in an unhaul, because I am still interested in reading this. It's just not on the top of my list. Alright, the next book that's on here is Made for You. Here's the cover, by Melissa Marr. This came out on the 16th of September in 2014. And this one's actually fantastic. This is a YA thriller, one of the best ones, and the first YA thrillers I think I ever read on my channel that I really enjoyed. It's about a boy who has an obsession with a girl, and the girl is super popular, and this also takes place in the South, so they have their own like clicks and way of doing things. I really enjoyed it, and the teenager gets just a little possessive, a little controlling, and bad things happen, which was just fantastic. So if you're looking for a good YA thriller, I would definitely pick this one up. The next book on my list is Blackbird by Anna Carey. There is a sequel to this that I am interested in reading, but I didn't give this book a very good rating. I gave it 3 stars, which is just average to me. This is a mystery thriller, but it just wasn't a very good mystery thriller. It's about a girl who wakes up, I think she wakes up like on a train track or in the middle of the street or something. Again, I haven't read this since 2014, but she wakes up and she's completely confused. She doesn't know who she is, but she has this sense that someone's chasing after her, and so she just starts taking off, running, like just trying to hide. And then she meets this boy and she meets this girl, and the boy doesn't really help her much, but the girl does, and then she escapes both of them, and she's still running, and people are chasing after her, and at the very end there's like this twist, and we're all confused as readers on why the girl is not knowing who she is. Like, is she brainwashed? Did she get her memories like removed? Like, is she have amnesia because of an accident? Like, we don't know. It was okay, but it was kind of boring. That's why I gave it 3 stars. It was just a little bit boring. I am, however, wanting to read the next book, which is Deadfall. Here is a picture of that sequel, and because this is a duology, it's only 2, I think I can handle reading the second one. Alright, the next book on my list, is The Lovely Jacobi by William Ritter. This one came out on the 16th of September, and you guys know how much I love this book. This was amazing. This is a paranormal mystery. It's got a detective that's a paranormal detective, which is Jacobi. He has his assistant, Abigail Rook. They go on a paranormal investigation together. They learn things. It's super fun. There are 4 books in this series. The 4th is coming out this month, The Dire King. I am definitely looking forward to reading it. This is 5 million stars. Pick this book up. I don't know why you haven't done so yet. Pick it up. It's quirky and amazing. It's a detective story. It's a mystery. It's got paranormal in it. Supernatural stuff. Abigail is hilarious. Jacobi is a weirdo, and I love him. So good. By the way, one of their assistants is a duck. That's something that everybody needs to know. Jacobi has a duck as an assistant. Okay? Alright. The next book on my list is Unmade by Sarah Reese Brennan. This one came out on the 23rd, and I actually have the entire series, but I haven't even started it yet. Unmade is the 3rd book. This is the 1st book. It's called Unspoken, The Lynborn Legacy. This cover is fantastic. The next covers are ugly as sin, and I wish they didn't do that. I don't know what makes publishing houses think that they should change covers. What is the reason for cover changes, especially in the middle of a series? Like, do they think, oh, this didn't sell enough copies, so let's change the cover and revamp it? Maybe people will like it better. Do you see how cute this cover is? The gate and the, the illustrated person and the back, and then they put pictures of people on the other covers, and it looks awful. And I hate pictures. I would much rather have illustrations, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, so I need to read that one. I don't even know what it's about, but I want to read it. The next one it's a gothic romance. That's what that is. I like gothic romances every once in a while, so we'll see. The next book is Afterworld by Scott Westerfeld. This is a fantasy novel. This is what it looks like. And I own this on my Kindle. I don't own it in physical form yet. I do want to read this, but I haven't read anything by Scott Westerfeld. And I own a lot of his works, and I still haven't read anything by him. Let me know down below what you think of Scott Westerfeld, because again, like, I own most of his YA works, and I continuously buy him because I hear such good things, but then I haven't read anything by him. That's one of my flaws. All right, that one came out on the 23rd, and the very last book I want to talk about that came out on the 30th is Winterkill here by Claire Legrand. Now, I've read all of her middle grade books and absolutely loved it. She's an amazing writer, but I haven't read this one. I purchased this for $1.99 on Book Outlet. It is stunning. It is a Nutcracker retelling, but it's a dark Nutcracker retelling, and this girl, every time I see her, it reminds me of Kristen Stewart. I mean, do you guys kind of see that, like in her Bella days, maybe? I don't know. Now she's bald, and she's not bald. She's blonde, and she shaved her head. I mean, she's gonna always be pretty. She has a pretty face, but I like her better with hair. Anyways, I still haven't read this yet. I need to. Maybe this December. I don't know. It's such a big, chunky book, but I do like the Nutcracker a lot. And I like anything dark, and I really like twisted retellings instead of just like a retelling, like a modern retelling. I like them when they're dark and twisted. So I'm hoping that this is going to be great, especially since all of Claire Legrand's middle grades are amazing. And that was the last book in this recap, rewrap, and update of September's 2014 most anticipated reads. Again, let me know down below if you guys are going to continue to want to watch these videos. I will continue making them if you guys are continuing to enjoy them. It's nice for me to reminisce about the books that I've put on my most anticipated reads for the past, because I get to see how much I've read and what I still need to read. So it's always good for me personally, but let me know what you guys want to see. And that is it. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!